summary from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Now, that's a video of a school that was destroyed in Kharkiv. And the Ukrainian side saying that the 8th day of the opposition of the Ukrainian people to the Russian military invasion continues. Ukraine claiming that Russia, having failed in almost all areas in which they're advancing, have resorted to tactics of night shelling on residential areas of large cities. The armed forces of Ukraine continue to steadfastly defend borders, counterattack, block forces in various directions. In the Volyn direction, the enemy continues to hold demonstrations along the state border. Now, these are details and the versions put out by the Ukrainian side. I have my colleagues Priyanka and Richa also joining us live. Let me go across to Priyanka, joining us with the details, and then we'll go across to Richa as well. Priyanka, what more are you picking up? I think there's a full detailed report and a claim by the Ukrainian side of the kind of movements and advancements that Russia has made.
Well, definitely, Niranjan. We have been getting those visuals for our viewers as well, and the latest being this of a rubble that has been reduced, that of a school in Ukraine, in fact, and we have seen how visuals from different parts of Kharkiv and Kiev as well that have come in. And Niranjan, we also see now strategic bombarding that is being done by the Russian troops, especially in Kiev, targeting the railway station, targeting the TV towers, all of this being done even as Russia publicly maintains that they do not want to target civilian areas. Let me also bring in Richa on this. Richa, we have seen this kind of strategic bombarding by the Russian troops, especially now in Kiev, where there was a three-pronged attack that the Russian troops were carrying out from the north, from the east, and from the south as well, making their way to Kiev as well, Richa.
Absolutely, Priyanka. And if we take a look at some bits from the summary of the General Staff of Armed Forces in Ukraine, they continue to maintain that on day 8 of the heroic opposition of the Ukrainian people to the Russian military invasion, it continues. They maintain their stance that they will continue to show resistance. They're also stating that the occupying forces have failed in almost all areas which they were advancing towards, resorting to tactics of night shelling of residential areas of large cities as well. Meanwhile, the armed forces of Ukraine continue to steadfastly defend certain borders and counterattack and block the occupying forces in various directions as well. That's the latest statement and a summary being given out by the General Staff of the Armed Forces. Meanwhile, we have seen destruction continues. We have the latest visuals, Priyanka, on our screens of a school that has now been destroyed in Kharkiv.
All right, that's the breaking news update that we're getting at this point. The Ukrainians claiming that in the Donetsk direction, Russians of the 1st and 2nd Army Corps with the support of artillery continue their offensive operations in the areas of settlements, and claiming that they did not achieve the main goal of capturing Mariupol. Ukraine claims Mariupol is not captured, and they're also saying in the Black Sea operational zone, naval groups of the Black Sea Fleet continue to fire on civilian ships and capture sailors. And for the first time, they are saying that Russia has acknowledged mass deaths and wounds on their own soldiers. Russia, on record, said nearly 400 and above, over 400 soldiers were killed in this special operation. And the Ministry of Defense of Russia, Ukraine claims, has admitted that 498 deaths were acknowledged, 1,597 people were wounded. Now, as far as Russia goes, there are reports of their airborne troops in different cities of Ukraine, port cities. And I think we're getting in live pictures from APTN of the kind of destruction that was caused. We're going to take those live pictures as well. These are pictures coming in from the Associated Press from different cities. I think that's Kiev, in different parts of Kiev, where you can see that several apartments have been destroyed completely. And even Ukraine has gone on to say that Kiev and other Ukrainian cities are suffering from enemy missile strikes. And they're referring to Russia, saying that social networks, well-known information resources beginning to comment in real time on the consequences of the impression of the accuracy of the missiles of Russians. Precise bombings have been conducted in several parts of Ukraine.